Yesterday we were discussing about the different types of garbage collection as well as nested classes or inner classes we can call. And within that one, you have seen the different types of examples. If you are going to have a Java editor, you can execute the program. If it is not possible, once again, when you will be coming over here at the time of offline classes, whatever the important programs will be there and which are very much useful for your lab programs, we will be executing those all the things within the classes. So look after each and everything whatever I am teaching from the second unit. If you won't have any doubts at any most of the level, just message me or you can send messages to my WhatsApp number. Today I'll be going with the next very important part of your Java concept, that is vectors. Vectors are nothing but called as a dynamic array. Already you are knowing an array is a fixed length of homogeneous set of elements. Is it right? An array is what? It is a set of or a fixed set of homogeneous set of elements. What do you mean by that one? If you are going to declare any array, you have seen those all the things in your C. I want to declare an integer variable. Integer variable will be declared as int a of 10. What it means? Int a of 10 stands for, okay, int a of 10 means you are going to enter 10 integer variables for a array called as a, where you can enter only 10 numbers. Is it right or not? Either in a form of integer type of values, you are going to enter only 10. A of 0 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that way. If I wanted to enter the 11th element in an array concept, it is not going to accept the 11th element because you have defined as int a of 10, so it will be accepting with only 10 values. That's why a concept called as vectors are used in your Java, where it is called as a dynamic, which can grow or shrink its size. Grow means if you have declared any class of vector as a of 10, it can be increased by 20, 40, 50, can also be decreased by 9, 8, 3, 4, like that also. Means vectors are those type of classes which are used to define dynamic array elements, where it is going to access with growing and shrinking. Growing means more, shrinking means less. If you think vector as defined with 10, class vector as defined with 10, you think like that way. If a class vector has defined with the 10, then at the time of execution of the program, you need to give more than 10 values, then ultimately the vector is going to make you to enter the things. Because in array it is not possible, that can be avoided by defining with your this particular what vectors. Like array, we can store n number of elements in it, has there is no size limit. So it is going to say there is no any size limit where you are going to have an array. Array is having size limit. If you are defined with that much, means it should have to accept with that much only in the execution time. But in a vector, what is there? If you are going to define with something, you wanted to extend, it can be extended. If you wanted to shrink down, it can be collapsed also. It is a part of a Java collection framework since Java 1.2. It is found in the java.util package and implements the list of interfaces. What are the differences you are going to find? Vector is synchronized. Synchronized means growing and collapsing, we can call. Java vector contains many legacy methods that are not the part of the collection framework. So this is what you can have with the Java, and how you are going to define with the Java constructors. Java constructor with an empty, which is going to accept as a size equals to 10. Vector of opening and closing bracket, it constructs an empty vector with the default size as 10. If you are not going to define any values within a vector, then ultimately it is going to accept with how much values? Minimum 10 values can be accepted. Vector int of initial capacity means you can give initial capacity. It constructs an empty vector with a specified initial capacity and with its capacity increment equal to 0, not lesser than 0. If you are going to define with initial capacity as a -1 means it is not going to accept those values. You should have to define either equals to 0 or more than 0 values. Int initial capacity is equal to 0. Int capacity increment means 0 can be incremented by 1 2 3 4 5 6 like that way. Then afterwards you are going to have a vector collection of greater than of extents lesser than of capacity. It constructs a collect vector that contains the elements of collection C. C means capacity. Whatever the capacity, if you are defined, that many of initial values will be inserted within that one. You think like that, 10 is given and you are entering from 1 means it is going to take from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Is it right or not? That is called as what? Elements of collection of C. Okay, so this is what you are going to use with the vectors. So once again, just I am going to repeat for you that Java vectors are those things which are nothing but called as a dynamic arrays. Array are fixed, vectors are dynamic. They can grow or shrink, but in a Java, in a C, you can give less elements, it is going to accept. But when you are going to give more than the index values, then array is not going to accept. That can be avoided by defining with your vectors. You can check with the simple different types of examples over there, methods of vectors. Some of the methods I have took here. If I wanted to add any element in Java, in C, in arrays, it is not possible to go for that one. But these all the things can be done by defining with the different types of methods. Firstly, we will be defining with the add function. It used to append the specified element in the given vector. What do you mean by this one? We wanted to add any element or any number, any character or any string or anything that can be appended. Appended means added within the already present vector. Add all, it is add means single value, or add all means all the elements which are specified into the vector at the end of the element, at the end of the vectors. Okay, add element, it is used to append the specified component to the end of vector. It increases the vector size by 1. So just you can think why I am going to say it is going to grow. When you wanted to add any element within a already present vector, if it is 10, I wanted to add another one element, now the vector size should be incremented by 1, that is becomes 11. So add element is going to go for that one. Size gives the number of objects present in the vector. So example, now already 10 are there, you have added with another element called as 11. So how many elements are present within the vector class now? There are 11 elements, can be defined with size. If I wanted to remove an element from for a specified, remove element item removes the specified item from the list. What do you mean by this one? Removes an item, a specified item from the list. Now 1 2 3 up to 11 elements are there. I wanted to remove the middle sixth element of the vector class, then that can be removed by specifying that particular value. Element remove element at the position, removes the item stored in the nth position of the list. I wanted to remove third position element. What will be the third position? 1 2 3 will be at the third position. If index value starts from 1 means the third position value will be 3. If I am going to give 3 here, then ultimately that element will be deleted. If I wanted to remove everything, then remove all elements, removes all the elements in the list, removes the numbers, characters, string values, whatever it will be present. If you don't want to use them, then directly you can define with what? Remove all elements. Then ultimately what it is going to do, it removes all the different set of elements. Copy into array, copies all the items from list to array. So what is this copy to means? when an class vector creates an object values, those all the object values can be stored as in a form of a type of array. You are making a just a copy of your list of elements, that is called as copy 2. Then insert element at item comma n. What do you mean by this item comma n? Now already you have been deleted all the elements by defining with remove all elements. At that position, if you wanted to say I wanted to enter 1 at the position 1, so it is okay, no problem. But sometimes in the previous statement, that is remove element at, you are given third position over there. Is it right or not? 1 2 4 5 7 8 9 10 11 are there. 3 and 6 you are deleted. By 6 means you are defined with the remove element by giving the value, and bringing in the position you are defined deleted with 3. So what it is going to happen here, that is remove insert element at 3 at the position 3 means wherever that is 3 4 is there, it will be appended to the next position, move to the next position, and 3 will be inserted over there within the position of 3. That is called as what? An insert element at the positions. So these are the different types of examples. Might be there will be a 5 marks question within your within the examination, that define vectors, explain the methods with an example. Then you can go for this one. Okay. Then moving with the next simple example you are going to have here. Just we will look after that example. Just have been used only 2 different types of methods here. You can define with other things also. There is no any problem. Okay. So what he is going to say here, he wanted to access the vector class. Vector class has been defined with java.util. Java.util stands for what? It is a package which is defined to access the vector which is present within the package called as util. Packages you will be knowing in the next classes. Public static void main string args, and vector you are accessing as a string values. If you are written in a brackets in an greater than and lesser than symbol, then ultimately that vector is going to be accessed with only string. If you are not going to define anything after the vector class, then you can define with any sort of values, or you can give any values. Once again I am going to tell here, vector is defined with any data type means that vector class object will be accepting only that type of values. Now vector has defined with string here, means this VEC is going to accept only the string values. Okay, only the string values will be accepted and it will be stored within the VEC. So adding elements using add method of the list. VEC is accepted with string, method will going to go for tiger. Tiger will be added within the vector. Whether you are defined with any limit here, no means it can grow like anything. So VEC dot add within a bracket lion, dog and elephant. So these are the 4 different types of information you have been added within the list. Then adding elements using add element method of vector. Same thing. Next you are going to use with tiger, lion, dog as well as elephant will be there. Then you are going to have with VEC same object. Now already you are defined. Now the string vector of VEC will be having with 4 string values, but it is going to extend by the element now here. VEC vector dot add element rat, cat, deer. Is it fine? Now once again you have been entered with 3 elements. So what it is going to display now, system.out.println elements are VEC. So it is going to display with tiger, lion, dog, elephant, rat, cat and deer. They will be not going to come in horizontal way, they will be vertical, just to show you all those elements within the part I have written here, because you have been used with a ln symbol. If you want to have like this way means you can use with commas also. So this is a simple example of actually the vectors are defined. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me at the time when you are going to see this recorded videos. Once again I am making a warning all to all that everyone should have to see watch and view the what all the videos of all the classes, not only my subject, all the subject you just view, because once when you will be coming back you will be regrasp, just refreshing will be done here. Okay, once again we are not going to take, we will go for it, not an issue. Wherever there is a problematical things or there is any part of the part, no, you will be going with that one. So for that sake you please go with like that way. So if I wanted to delete any element, then what you can do, vec dot remove element of the bracket rat you give. So ultimately that rat will be defined deleted. Okay, vec dot remove element at position 3. So 1 2 3 means dog will be removed. Next, vec dot size. Now rat and dog are removed. So how many elements will be removed? Remain now tiger, lion, elephant, cat and deer will be remained, and you will be displaying with 1 2 3 4 5 elements. 7 elements are entered and you are going to accept with only 5 elements because 2 elements you are deleted. Then I wanted to insert element add. So insert element at item, I am going to enter dog and the position I will be giving as 5. So what it is going to do? Tiger, lion, dog, elephant and dog will be entered after the rat, not rat, cat, not cat. So how many? 1 2 are deleted. Deer. After the deer you are going to enter with dog. So this is how you can use the what? Java vector classes. Means what can I understand from this particular thing here? Java vector classes are those things can be increased, can be grown, can be collapsed, can be shrinked. Means you are having a possibility of increasing the size of the vector and decreasing the size of the vector also. Both the things can be done here. So we can call them as what? Vectors, which are very more useful than your arrays. Array is going to accept a fixed number of elements, where this is going to have variable length of elements. Variable means it can be changed, it can be dynamic, it can be it can be accessible in how the user is going to use at the time of execution of the programs. Okay, at the time of program you are going to use that one. So that is called as what? An vectors. So today once again I will be going with the next one, that is wrapper classes. Wrapper classes are those part of your classes which converts a normal primitive data types to object and object to the primitive data types. Means vice versa. If there is a declaration called as small int, that is called as primitive data type, that can be converted to as wrapper classes by defining as a different name for that one. int, I capital, en small and t small, or you define with integer itself. That is called as what? Conversion of a primitive to object and object into primitive data type. So has been given a simple example. If you're going to have two different types of informations here. One is called as, just you can check primitive data types, how they will be converted to wrapper classes. Primitive data type you are using with inbuilt char can be used as character. Means when you are defining any variable, if you are used with char means that is a data type. If you are going to use with character means it becomes the wrapper class. Means you are converted the normal variable to the wrapper class. If anything it is coming back to that one means it is called as what? Primitive data type is converted to wrapper classes. If you are coming back, wrapper classes will be converted to primitive data types. So there are two examples: auto boxing and unboxing. Auto boxing means converting integer long to long, double or double to double. Means conversion from integer primitive data types to wrapper classes is called as auto boxing. Unboxing means conversion of wrapper classes to normal integer types. You are having a simple example, you can look after them. So I'll be stopping here at the class. Rest other things we will discuss in next day.